Hey there and welcome back to XCOM. My name is Pete and today we complete another episode of our XCOM Enemy Within Ironman Impossible walkthrough. In the last episode we completed yet another EXALT mission, we gave some screen time to a few of our newer faces, and we made it fairly close to the end of the month of August. Today we are likely going to complete the month and move into September, because unless I am severely mistaken there should not be another mission for the next 6 days. And because of that, we can actually start today's episode with a few gene modifications, so let's head over to the labs.
I appreciate your efforts to support the research team, Commander. I've already put the new recruits to work in the lab.
Alright, and our first candidate for another gene mod is our assault Luisa Sharky Santoso, who already has 2 modifications and will now receive her third one in adrenal neurosympathy. As our go-to assault, she will be killing early and often, so the ability's bonuses should be triggered at least once per mission.
I'll have the selected volunteer sent to surgical prep immediately. Once the genetic modification is complete, I will notify you directly.
We are not yet done though, because we will also give the first gene modification to Sniper Palladium Michelle Talpas. She will probably not be receiving a ton of modifications over the course of this game, but Depth Perception is a mod that is more or less made for the sniper class, and the cost is so low that this one is pretty much a no-brainer.
Excellent. We'll begin prepping the candidate for surgery immediately. I will notify you when the genetic modification process is completed.
Right, and that concludes our preparations for this episode, so let's start scanning.
Aircraft transfer complete.
Okay, in the lower left corner we can see our 3 Firestorms have arrived at their destinations, and we also have a new weapon available to equip them with, namely the EMP cannon. Now, the EMP cannon is not only among the most powerful aircraft armaments in the game, it also has the distinct advantage of limiting damage to UFO equipment. That means, on one hand, it can take down enemy UFOs very quickly, while simultaneously leaving more alien artifacts like flight computers and power sources intact. Needless to say, that has its advantages, but of course we also want to quickly take a look at the Shiv Repair project, which adds a unique functionality to the Arc Thrower, allowing the device to repair heavy weapon platforms in combat. Again, we have not actually unlocked those yet, but we will. In any case, now it is time to pick a new project, and we are going for another brand new suit of armor here, the Archangel armor. This armor allows our soldiers to fly high up in the air, and it is therefore very well suited for our snipers, and with the project only taking 2 days to complete, we will have this armor available in no time. Now, up next we will head over to engineering, because of course with the EMP cannon now unlocked, we want to buy a few. The goal here is to have 1 EMP cannon per continent, that way we're able to engage powerful UFOs pretty much anywhere, although this ability comes at a cost. For 5 EMP cannons we will have to pay 375 credits, which leaves us with the grand total of 7 in our bank account, but don't worry, that is all part of the plan. Now, with 5 EMP cannons at our disposal, the only thing left to do is to actually put them on our Firestorms. Again, 1 EMP cannon per continent is how we're going to do this. One last thing before we take care of that though. For the continents Asia, Europe and South America, we are going to dismiss one of our regular interceptors, because with 2 Firestorms already stationed there as well, we no longer need them. This will save us a bit of cash each month, not a lot, but every penny counts. Then it's finally time to install the EMP cannons, and you may already be able to see it here briefly in the stats overview. Their damage and armor penetration is substantial, and they also have an amazing hit chance. Their fire rate is medium, so that's alright as well. The only downside is that our Firestorms have to get really close to their target to actually fire them, which of course puts them in a bit of danger during the approach. There are aircraft modules to counter this, however. The UFO Tracking Boost module is a good example, because it allows our Firestorms to instantly close that first gap. We'll talk a bit more about that when we have to. For now, we have 5 well-armed Firestorms in our hangar, so I would say let's continue scanning. And there we are, the Archangel Armor research project is already completed. Our Firestorms have also all been equipped with the new EMP cannon, and Michelle and Luisa have both also completed their gene modifications. Apart from the Archangel Armor, we have also unlocked the Advanced Flight Foundry project, which is a direct upgrade for the Archangel Armor. The Archangel armor itself, meanwhile, does not only allow our soldiers to fly, it is actually also a heavy armor providing a pretty substantial health bonus, as well as the usual immunities to poison, strangulation and fire damage. Since the armor's flight is not unlimited and dictated by its fuel capacity, however, the Advanced Flight Foundry project here is of interest, which doubles this fuel capacity and therefore makes the armor a lot more useful. For financial reasons, we won't be able to look any further into that at the moment, so let us instead take care of the next research project. And we are going with what is actually our last missing weapon project. Every other plasma-based weapon has already been unlocked. The only thing still missing is the alloy cannon, the plasma-based equivalent of the shotgun. This project will also consume 40 weapon fragments, and this is something that we want to keep an eye on in this episode. With this project started, we will only have 55 weapon fragments left, and ideally we want to avoid creating some sort of bottleneck here, so we will probably have to be a bit strategic with our research projects going forward. For now though, our researchers are busy for the next 5 days, so let's keep scanning. Okay, here we are, the next and I think final round of psionic testing is complete. This one only involved one soldier, namely Thomas Kazarak Cahill, and we also already knew what the result was going to be. Just like the other 2 soldiers we rescued in the Furies mission, Thomas is psionically gifted, which actually now makes him the 6th psionically gifted soldier in our squad. To complete the process, we can also quickly unlock the Mindfray ability for him, but I have to mention that as a support he is obviously always going to play second fiddle to Annette, whose will stat, and with that one of the key variables for the power of her psionic abilities is much higher, and who I could actually see as our squad leader down the line. Still, having a second psionic support at hand is certainly nothing to complain about. I just wanted to make sure not to create any false hopes here. Now, at this point, the next thing waiting for us is likely the council report.
Incoming transmission.
So let's see how our performance was graded in August.
We are extremely impressed with the progress of the XCOM project thus far, Commander. Your recent results were beyond our expectations, and that is not a statement this council makes lightly.
And there we go, that is yet another A grade for our work against the aliens. August was admittedly a bit heavy on the EXALT missions, I think, but we are now entering a new month with a big pile of fresh money, as well as with 8 new scientists and 8 new engineers.
We will be in touch, Commander.
Now, since it is a new month and we have credits available again, there are a few things to take care of, starting with what is guaranteed to be our last intel scan. At this point, the EXALT base can only be in either Brazil or Germany, but we are not taking any risks.
Intel scan complete. EXALT cell location confirmed.
Okay, and we do in fact find an EXALT cell in Germany. However, this does of course not confirm the presence of the EXALT base. Now, we could of course take the 50-50 chance and accuse Germany of harboring that base, but completing one more covert operation is actually better in my opinion, because not only will it make sure of the base location, it will also provide us with one more chance to collect valuable experience. Our covert operative for this mission is going to be Ryan Pickles Gibbons, who is already equipped with everything he needs to succeed, so let's send him out into the field.
Covert operative deployed to disrupt EXALT cell in Germany.
And now, up next, we'll visit our engineers.
The new engineers arrived this morning, Commander. We're always glad to have more help down here.
As you can see, we currently have 66 engineers at our disposal. For an achievement, however, we need 80, which in turn means with 8 engineers coming in per month, we will have this achievement unlocked in 2 months. Now, we're here because we once again have money available to us, and since we just unlocked the Archangel armor, I think it's time we bought one. For 153 credits, one suit is certainly not on the cheap side, but considering what a good sniper can do with it in battle, I feel like this is money well spent. I'm not quite sure if we're ever going to buy a second one though. For the other soldier classes, I usually prefer to use other types of armor, but let's worry about that some other time. And there we are, with the exception of some aircraft armaments and the light plasma rifle, we have now officially unlocked every single weapon in the game. The alloy cannon does not really need a lot of explaining. It works just like the shotgun and the scatter laser before. It's best used at close range for massive amounts of damage and high chances to crit. Now, at this point we can choose our next project, and this time we are finally going for Hyperwave Communication. This project will only take 2 days, but it will unlock a new facility for us to build. A facility for which we in turn of course need credits, so completing this project back in August did not really make sense. Now, however, we have the money, so let's get to it.
I appreciate your efforts to support the research team, Commander. I've already put the new recruits to work in the lab. We've certainly had an influx of new developments recently. Well, the sectoid commander is an intriguing subject. I have to admit, this device has also captured my attention.
Of course, with the alloy cannon now unlocked, the next thing on our to-do list is to actually buy one, for which we need to head back to engineering. And the alloy cannon is certainly not cheap, running at a price of over 200 credits after discounts here, which is only made worse by the fact that we cannot actually obtain this weapon from any of our alien enemies. On the other hand, more than one shotgun per mission is rarely used in this game, so I think, just like with the Archangel armor, one purchase will be enough for the foreseeable future. And there we are, actually making progress in the game's main storyline, as we have now completed the Hyperwave Communication project. As a result, we are now able to construct the Hyperwave Relay, a facility that will allow us, and I quote, to trace the source of the alien communications. Now, that is all a little vague. What it actually does is, among other things, displaying the numbers and types of aliens aboard enemy UFOs. As you can imagine, that will make mission planning a whole lot easier. It will take a while to construct this facility though. Now, one thing that was not displayed here, but is also a result of us researching Hyperwave Communication, that is the availability of the Ghost Armor. Now, this armor is very interesting, as it can make its wearer invisible, very similar to mimetic skin actually, although this Ghost mode can only be used a limited number of times. Apart from that, the armor is also a straight upgrade of the skeleton suit, as it also comes with a movement speed increase and a grappling hook. Now, with the Hyperwave Relay unlocked, let's start the construction immediately. We have a nice spot available for it here in the lower left corner. The facility will run us at a cost of 175 credits, so it's not really cheap. Thankfully though, it only consumes 4 units of power. Construction will take 14 days though, so it will be a while until we can reap the benefits of the relay. But then again, at this point in the game, I think we have the time to spare. Now, as you can see here, we are also starting to run close to the power limit of our base. So with 2 construction spots left, let us use one of those to construct an Elerium Generator. Yes, a regular power generator would have been enough in all likelihood, but one of the goals of this playthrough is to actually also show off as much of the game as possible, so not building one of the available facilities at all, that is not going to fly. The Elerium Generator is of course much more expensive than a normal power generator, and construction will also take much longer, once again 14 days, but again, at this point in the game, I think we can afford the cost. So that puts us now 3 days away from the completion of Ghost Armor, so let's keep scanning and see if anything else comes up in the meantime. Okay, September appears to be a fairly quiet month for now, as the Ghost Armor project here completes without interruptions. Now, I already mentioned most of the armor suit's advantages. The most prominent, of course, is the Ghost Mode stealth ability, which unfortunately though stands in conflict with anyone having the mimetic skin gene mod, which sadly prevents anyone wearing this armor from using Ghost Mode. Still, even without Ghost Mode, this armor is a very solid piece of equipment, and again, one that we will purchase in just a second. At this point though, the question is what to research next. All 3 projects here are not really essential to our progress in the game, and all 3 of them also require a good number of weapon fragments. With only 55 weapon fragments available to us, there is sadly no way of completing more than one project here without acquiring more in the meantime, so the best course of action here is to go with the project that gives us the longest time window to actually do that, and that would be the Fusion Lance with a research time of 5 days. The Fusion Lance is another very powerful aircraft armament, arguably even more powerful than the EMP cannon. However, it does of course not pay any attention whatsoever to any alien equipment on board, so if you're looking to salvage as much as possible, then the EMP cannon is probably still the better choice. In terms of raw stopping power, however, the Fusion Lance is unmatched. Now, as advertised, we will continue our spending spree. Let us now purchase 1 suit of Ghost Armor. As you can see, it is even more expensive than the Archangel armor with a price tag of 200 credits. In my opinion though, it is also much more versatile, providing its wearer not only with the Ghost Mode stealth abilities, but also with a movement speed increase, a grappling hook and some decent protection. In this regard, it pretty much fills the role of the jack-of-all-trades armor for the late game. It is not overly specialized for one specific thing like maximum protection, flying or psionic abilities. Instead, it serves a wider range of purposes that pretty much any soldier can benefit from. So while we're only grabbing one suit here, that number might very well increase in the future. For the time being though, well, let's keep scanning. Okay, there we are with Firestorms number 9 and 10 manufactured. This means we can now put 2 Firestorms on every single continent, and I think that should actually be enough for the rest of the game. Yes, there might still be the occasional UFO that could give us trouble, but with the right armaments, the right modules, and of course with a bit of luck, I think this could very well be enough to last us until the final mission. This would actually be a point where I think I'd like to hear your input. I think I have completed the game at least once with a fleet very similar to this, but perhaps you can share some of your experiences in the comments, and maybe also leave a recommendation whether or not we should purchase more. Now, as you can see, we are getting close to the end of the video, and yes, there has unfortunately not been a mission today. Like I said earlier, September appears to be a bit on the slow side, at least for now, but I'm sure that will change down the line. The next episode at least is guaranteed to have some action as we have our Covert operation coming up. As you may have been able to see though by the quickly dwindling number of research projects we have available to us, yes, we are slowly but steadily progressing to the end game. We are, however, not in a hurry to complete the game anytime soon, and we actually have full control over when that actually happens, and considering the not so insignificant number of achievements we still have left to unlock, I think this playthrough will continue for a while longer. For today though, we will make the cut right here in what was a comparatively short episode, but as always I hope you still enjoyed it, and if you did then I would of course be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, or you can check out and maybe pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.